Don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. That is one of my favorite sayings about practice, and there's a ton of real truth locked in that pithy little saying. If you practice with goals, intent, focus, and structure, you'll go far. But if you just mindlessly approach your practice time, you're going to find yourself getting nowhere fast. We're going to talk about a concept called deliberate practice and how you can apply it to the guitar to make you a better guitar player. Plus, be sure to watch to the end of the video where I announce the 5 winners for the Fingerstyle Blues Roots DVD giveaway. Let's get right to it. Hey, John here with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues, where we take cool acoustic blues concepts and break them down into small bite-sized chunks so that you can get this stuff into your playing as fast as possible. And today we are going to announce the 5 winners of the Fingerstyle Blues Roots DVD, but before we get to that, we're going to talk about practice. We're going to talk about deliberate practice and how you can use these concepts to really get a lot of results out of your guitar time. It's less important how much time you spend practicing and more important how you practice. This is a how you practice lesson. Last week we talked about setting goals and how important that is, and it is very important, but that's sort of the what. That's what you want to achieve. This lesson is all about how you get there. Now, this term deliberate practice comes from a book called Peak by Anders Ericsson. He's a pretty smart dude, a professor at Florida State University, and he's devoted his career to studying the science behind expertise. So think mastery, think world-class performer, think you're amazing guitar player that you want to sound like. And a key area of his research is in this notion of deliberate practice. And this really resonates with me because I'm telling you, I know from my own experience, that you can practice and not really practice with a plan for years and years and years and just kind of maintain the status quo or maybe get marginally better. But that's not what we're after. I have a feeling that that's not why you're watching this video. However, if you practice with focus, intention, and with some sort of feedback mechanism built in, and we'll talk about some of these things in a little bit more detail, but if you practice with those things, then you can really supercharge your results. And this is what really separates people who continually get better and hone their craft from pickers that just kind of, flatline and they can play for a decade and not really get any better. All right, so let's talk about bringing some focus to a practice session. So you've got a lick, something like this. Focus on the minute details. You guys know that I love to break things down into small components, so don't take that whole thing as one big lick. Focus on just that first part, maybe. Can you play that perfectly? Then ask yourself, if you can, play that perfectly 5 times in a row. Then ask yourself, can I play it 10 times in a row? Really stretch yourself and really go beyond, a little bit beyond your ability. And then add in the rest of the lick in chunks, in these little bite-sized chunks before stitching it together into a complete lick. But the key is that you've got to pay attention. You've got to make sure that you're really nailing these notes and that it's sounding right and that it's sounding correct and that you're not hitting the wrong fret here and there. So practice it through and make sure that you can play it. And I'm just arbitrarily throwing out 5. Maybe you can play it 5 times in your sleep. We'll try playing it 10 times perfectly then. Really challenge yourself. That's the idea here. But the point is that you've got to really use your ear to pay attention and find your own mistakes. And if you don't think you're making any mistakes, then I would challenge you to fire up a camera, fire up your smartphone, and record yourself and then watch it back or listen to it. Listen to the recording, and you're going to hear some errors almost inevitably. There's a great way to pick up on your own errors. If you're a premium member, then you've got access to the tab for the lick I just played, but this lesson is not so much about the lick and more about how you approach learning the lick. So to recap, I really suggest breaking things down when you're approaching really any piece of music that you want to learn, breaking it down into a small, manageable chunk. Practice that, make sure that you can play that perfect, make sure that you can repeat it and play it several times in a row perfectly, then move on and sort of build from there. Eventually, you'll have this whole lick down and you want to challenge yourself on the lick to make sure that you can play this several times in a row perfectly. Really stretch yourself beyond your current ability. And maybe this lick is perfect for that. Maybe it's not. Maybe you need something a little more challenging. But really try to stretch yourself beyond your current ability in your practice sessions. Make sure that you've got that feedback loop. And again, if you don't think that you're making any mistakes, then I would challenge you to record yourself, play it back, and listen critically to see if there are any areas that you can improve. This is that feedback loop that really helps support this idea of deliberate practice. And again, deliberate practice is where you're going to get results. All right, who's ready to find out the 5 winners of the Fingerstyle Blues Roots DVD? Now, real quick, this is a DVD that I made with True Fire after winning their Next Top Guitar Instructor contest. It was a whole lot of fun to go down there and produce this with them. Top-notch folks down there in Florida. Absolutely loved the experience, and I'm very proud of this course that we put out together. And I'm happy to announce the 5 winners of the contest, a little giveaway that we're doing here. So let's get right to it. If you're one of the 5, then I'm going to reach out to you. We're going to figure out how to get this thing shipped out to you as fast as possible. So without further ado, here are the 5 winners. All right, so the 5 winners are Nicolas Boudillon from France, Garrett Whitmore from the USA, Sergi Aguasenosa from Spain, Iggy Makarovich from the USA, and also Donald Beal from the USA. Congrats, guys. All right, that's it for today. Thanks to everyone who entered the contest, and a big congratulations to the 5 winners. I've got the DVD coming out to you, and I hope that you really dig it. Before we sign off, take this deliberate practice stuff to heart. I'm telling you, this is important stuff, and it really separates the folks who get results continually, day after day, week after week, from their practice, from folks who just kind of flatline and play guitar and don't really get any better. Until next Tuesday, practice smart and play on.